Hello, good evening, and welcome to Game On here on News Central Television. It's a Friday night edition, and together we'll be taking a preview of everything that will be happening over the weekend, and of course, everything that has happened over the last 24 hours in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. My name is Babatunde Koiki. Thank you again for joining us tonight, as it's going to be a really, really good show. Don't forget, we're also streaming live on YouTube. We're also available on your DSTV and Star Times. It's channel 422 and channel 274, respectively. So we'd really like to know where you're joining us from, of course, because, like I said, those social media handles on your screen are available. There's Facebook, there's TikTok, there's pretty much everything that you're pretty much used to where you can join and follow the show. Welcome once again. It's three guys in the studio tonight. Two of them are pretty much faces that you're quite used to. To my immediate right, there is Adebari. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, It promises to be a really great weekend as well.
Yeah, definitely. Loads of things happening in the world of sports, football, the Olympics as well, when gearing closer.
Teams already playing preseason tournaments.
Yeah, exactly.
Friendlies already. Yes.
Exactly. So I'm looking forward to the start of the top 5 leagues, next month. So loads of things to talk about.
Okay, absolutely. Well, also on the show tonight is our very own Udoka Njoku join us again tonight. Thank you so much, Udoka.
Thank you for having me.
You're always very rarely on this show. I don't know why.
It's the Lord's doing.
Well, we like the Lord to do more good things because you always bring a different vibe to the show every time you're on. Welcome to the show. So, guys, without further ado, let's dive into the information right now. And we'll start, of course, with Nigeria. Charity always beginning at home. And the federal government of Nigeria has announced that Team Nigeria gold medal winners will get $5,000, while silver medalists will be rewarded with $3,000, and the $2,000 will go to bronze medalists, stating that they are determined to encourage Nigerian athletes. Minister of Sports Development John Enoh said his aspiration is for Team Nigeria to surpass the country's best Olympic performance achieved at the Atlanta 1996 Olympic Games, where Team Nigeria won 2 gold, 1 silver, and 3 bronze medals. Team Nigeria will be making her 18th appearance at the Olympic Games and will be represented by 87 athletes. At the Tokyo Olympics, Team Nigeria won 1 silver and 1 bronze medals thanks to Blessing Oborodudu in wrestling and Ese Brume in the long jump event. Gentlemen, let's talk money. I know the smart money will be to go to Udoka, but I'm not going to start with Udoka. I'm actually going to start with you. $5,000 seems a bit paltry, but there are those who are saying that, look, the nation is currently undergoing a lot of fiscal challenges right now. Money is hard to get by, that the athletes should actually be content with what they get. But I'm not sure if $5,000 is adequate reward for a gold medal or is a great incentive for anybody to go for a gold medal.
So I'm going to take a key word from what John Enoh said, which is encouragement. Yeah. So it's not necessarily reward for the hard work that they've done, but rather a measure of encouragement for thanking you for getting a podium finish. Yes, I do agree that it's way too small. With all due respect, this is not the African Games. And I think that considering the prize money that now the World Athletics Federation has put out as well, plus the Olympics as well, it's really, really small in comparison to those figures. But once again, just like I said, it's encouragement. Let's just take it as it is. This is Nigeria.
Udoka, at the Africa Cup of Nations, the Super Eagles got $5,000 for every win. That's for a win. And for making it to the final, they also earned 5 figures, I believe, for getting to and now comparing that as against winning an Olympic medal, an Olympic gold medal.
Well, I think for once, I would say it's a good move from the federation.
Is it now?
And also the sports minister. But then, like Okwe said, it looks quite small. But the question is, I like to play the devil's advocate. How many of these athletes would even get to the podium?
Oh, come on. Look, how many? Wait, with this kind of incentives, why would they be incentivized?
Let's not lie to ourselves.
To get to the podium.
You know, you had a guest on swimming, was it today or yesterday? Yes. And the question I asked was, are we even going to get to 3rd place, 4th place, 5th place? Come on, we're going to finish last in swimming. These guys are going to wipe us silly over there, so let's not dream. Well, it's good to dream. But then at the Olympics proper, Team Nigeria, how many gold medals are we going to win? Probably 1 or 2. The same wrestling and maybe Ese Brume will get to bring these medals back home. So how many of them will get there to win gold medal? For football, no way. Boxing, no way. track and field, maybe
he's really playing the devil's advocate.
Okay, so my producer just actually whispered into my ear right now, and I have to put this on the table, guys. World Athletics is going to give every gold medalist at these Olympic Games $50,000. Now, $5,000, by going by average exchange rate right now, is pretty much like 7.5 million naira. That I do know, as a matter of fact, that some countries are offering as much as $100,000 for every single gold medal. Okay, please help me out here. If you are giving me $100,000 and I'm Nigerian, and I know I have the marginal propensity to get a medal, I'll be running like crazy towards that finishing line.
Yeah, of course. I think let's just set one thing straight.
$5,000, I can't break myself my neck for that.
No, definitely. Udoka made a very valid point, right? But I will tell you for a fact that for every Nigerian that goes out there to represent Nigeria, they always want, or rather they always aim for a podium finish. So that is the goal. So the question now is, will they be good enough? I know for a fact that going into this Olympics, athletics, that's our stronghold going into the Olympics. And then, with the relays as well, the relays are one aspect which I feel, we could actually get a medal. Aside the individuals, you mentioned Esebrume, there's Tobiloba Amuso as well, there's that possibility. And you never really know when it comes to off-field events as well.
I think wrestling, we have a stronghold on wrestling as well.
Yeah, we do. So you never really know. But then the main contention here is this figure that has been given by the sports ministry. Is it good enough to reward our athletes?
Personally, I think if any athlete is trying to win a gold medal, it's because of the World Athletics $50,000 prize, not because of the $5,000 that the Nigeria government is promising athletes for track and field. Or for, actually, for any athlete, of course, we are going to be participating in multiple disciplines. There's basketball, there's swimming, there's boxing, there's track and field as well, and there's even canoeing for Nigeria. So we'd like to wish Team Nigeria athletes all the very best. I'm not sure if $5,000 is worthy recompense for their Olympic performance, but I would really like them to go out there and do their utmost best, because there is a significant luster that comes with being an Olympic gold medalist. Still talking about Nigeria's participation at the upcoming Olympics, the Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Enoh, has stated that all the camping allowance for all the athletes will be paid to the last kobo before Team Nigeria departs from for the Olympic Games. Owing athletes allowance is gradually becoming a norm as many podium finish athletes struggle to get what is due to them many months after superb performances at the Africa Games hosted in Ghana early this year. Nigeria, against all odds, surprisingly beat many countries to second place at the Africa Games. The minister, during an interactive session, I beg your pardon, with sports writers in Abuja yesterday, promised that all the athletes will get their financial entitlements before departing for the Games. Good news, Udoka?
Yeah, good news, but they should put pen to paper. They should make it happen, not just talk. Because we've heard this several times where they promise to pay athletes before a particular tournament. And at the end of the day, these athletes come out to say that, look, we were never paid anything. But I hope that they do pay them these monies, and let's have a date when they're going to depart. Because currently, teams are beginning to arrive in Paris, talking about the ones heading to the Olympics. So we need to know exactly what the plan is. When is Team Nigeria leaving? What is the plan for these athletes when they get to the Paris Olympics? So yes, if the sports minister says they're going to pay them before leaving the shores of the country, of course they should do that. And we hope for a better outing for Team Nigeria.
Okay, actually, I'm hearing that it's actually that the camping allowances will be paid before they leave the Games, before they leave Paris. Not before they leave for
Nigeria.
Paris.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So that's fair enough. That's good. That's the right thing to do.
Is it now?
Well, in comparison.
Wait, hold on. No. Camping allowances don't be paid during camp. Not during the competition.
But obviously, he has made it clear that they are currently incapable of giving them the allowances now. Imagine they don't even pay them at all, and it is
which is exactly what kind of happened after the African Games.
Exactly. I was about to bring that up and mention that 2 months after, we had a good number of athletes who had not received their allowances at all, and their bonuses. Yes, they have been paid.
Everybody, every athlete that participated,
everyone has been paid.
Reportedly.
No. So here's reportedly. But however, while they were at the All African Games a couple of
African Games,
the African Games a couple of weeks ago, rather the trials, a couple of weeks ago, John Enoh himself, he went ahead, he was there, and he asked which athlete has not been paid. So there was actually one person who signified that they are not being paid. There was an issue of rectification with the accounts that was given, and it seemed to be quote unquote sorted out. So now this is another phase. So that's why I said, knowing Nigeria, knowing our track record, this is good.
Well, I think there's a line from a movie I watched many years ago that said, thy humble servant will believe it when thy humble servant sees it. Until it is done, and we can actually pretty much see and ratify that it has been done. I'm just holding my breath. Still talking about the Olympic Games, it is the very epitome of participation for any athlete in this world. And some athletes are willing to go through anything, hell and high water, to ensure that they can participate at the Games. I mean, take the story of Australian hockey player Matt Dawson, who has gone to extreme lengths to ensure his participation at the Olympic Games by choosing to amputate part of his finger. The 30-year-old who was part of Australia's silver medal winning team at the Tokyo Games fractured his right ring finger recently, jeopardizing his chances of competing at a third Olympic Games. And doctors presented him with two options: allowing the finger to heal in a cast or opting for a partial amputation. Dawson elected for the surgery to move the top of his finger, and Australia, aiming to bounce back from their Tokyo final loss, will kick off their campaign against Argentina on the 27th of July. Gentlemen, I'm flabberwhelmed and I'm overwhelmed and flabbergasted.
I have no words for this because nah. I mean, this is going to the extreme length.
He chose to remove the top of his ring finger in order to ensure that this is extreme, really.
Too extreme for me, because I mean, at what length can you go just to participate in a particular event? And this is the Olympics. Yes, participation is key. But for the hockey player, I really don't.
You can be sure that they are not probably this one's $5,000.
Yeah,
because for $5,000, nobody's chopping off his finger.
Yeah. And from your intro, you obviously they got to the finals the last time, so it feels like they're going there. They ask for revenge. They believe that they can get to the finals and gone for gold. Even if they don't get gold, they get silver or bronze medal. So there's a reward for cutting off.
No, definitely. At the end of the day, I think for me this is down to
how much
passion.
can anybody pay you?
No.
How much can anybody pay you to chop off the top of your ring finger to participate at the Olympics?
To cut off whatever.
Not enough. But you know, for me, what I just noticed is the fact that certain individuals like this are always extra motivated. There's something just always spurring them on. It could be from their background or whatnot. I give you an example of a particular rugby player. He's French. He lost one testicle while playing rugby.
Oh yeah, I remember that particular one.
And he went on. I give you the case of Karim Benzema as well. His pinky finger is permanently bent like this. And I mean, he's still playing football till today.
Maybe that's his lucky charm.
It could be because he was a totally different player after that finger got bent actually for Karim Benzema. So for some of these athletes, when they go the extra mile, there is something that is spurring them from the inside. It could be from their background. It could be from a breakup, and the person is just trying to reinvent himself or whatnot. But sometimes these athletes always need to go extra. And especially when you are representing your country, you feel proud of your country, and you know that
is the epitome of patriotism.
It is, because you're actually playing in a good team, and you know you can go all the way to the final and get a gold medal.
You know, funny thing is, after the Olympics, he could just have the surgery and fix it.
To reattach it. It's possible. But there have been advances in medicine that can make this particularly possible. But I would really like to see that is possible in the case of this gentleman, Matt Dawson from Australia, who's gone in for Olympic gold as well. I think I dislocated a small toe once while playing football. It didn't stop me from playing football, but amputation? Wow. Anyway, still talking about the extreme measures that athletes are taking in order to participate at the Olympic Games. There are also the extreme measures that teams are also putting in place to ensure that their athletes are in tip-top shape. For example, Japanese gymnast Shoko Miyata has been disqualified from competing at the Olympic Games and sent home after violating a team smoking ban. The 19-year-old captain of Japan's women's artistic gymnastics team left the training camp in Monaco amid investigations into the incident. Officials confirmed that she breached the Japan Gymnastics Association rules, leading to her immediate return to Japan. Having won a bronze medal at the 2022 World Championships, Miyata was poised to lead a team of debutantes aiming for Japan's first artistic gymnastics team medal since the 1964 Tokyo Olympic Games in Paris. Wow. Well, it just goes to show you that there are some teams that are pretty much well set up, and there are rules a code of conduct that many of these athletes are expected to abide by, signed, explained to them. So if if there's a breach, it's pretty much you are pretty much expected to pay the price.
Definitely for Shoko Miyata, going back home, she deserves.
This is disgrace. This is absolute disgrace.
No, well, it is. I mean, disgrace on her own part.
In the eastern part of in the eastern part of the world, in Asia especially, the Far East, these kind of things are regarded as disgraceful, especially when they take the issues like honor, conduct, good behavior very seriously. So if you're found wanting, it's rather disgraceful.
And she's also been indisciplined when it comes to stuff like this, because they've laid out the rules for you guys. Why would you choose to, probably was just to hide?
Blow steam?
Useful
exuberance.
Yeah, but
just
19 years old. But then again, at this age, I mean, for gymnastics most especially, they're well cultured, well mannered, well trained. So if you're breaking the rules, it's on you. So going back home, I think is the best thing for. I think she should even face more fine. Than going back home.
Yes, there will be an inquiry.
She should be used as a scapegoat. For other athletes.
Oh, that's harsh.
No, it's not. It's not. If rules have been laid down, for example, in an organization, they say no drinking of alcohol in the office. If you do that, you should be used as a scapegoat. You understand? I mean,
that's a good one. Coming hard.
No. He's right. He's right. Yeah. I think for me, it's just indiscipline on her part. That's just indiscipline. But just like you said, investigations are ongoing. So at the end of the day, she might just get worse punishment from this. Then again, knowing the Asians, just like you said, this is for them is quite disgraceful. Then again, you look at the age. So there's a bit of a problem there.
You think about to temper justice mercy and look and say, no, I mean, she's just 19.
For someone who has been there before and represented the country globally, she knows the rules. She does know better.
She should know better.
So for me, just like Udoka said, she was just indisciplined.
Does Team Nigeria have a code of conduct?
Yeah, I'm sure we do.
We should. We should.
Sure.
I'm sure we do.
Okay, hopefully so. Let's leave the Olympics behind and let's talk about the UFC, Ultimate Fighting Championships, Mixed Martial Arts. UFC 304 is fast approaching, and former two-time UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya has significantly increased in size and strength as he prepares to challenge the defending champion of the middleweight division, Dricus Du Plessis, at UFC 305. Dan Hooker, who is Adesanya's teammate at City Kickboxing, revealed in an interview with Submission Radio that the last style bender has packed on considerable muscle mass. During his time away from the octagon, Adesanya, who has been out of action for nearly a year, is set to face Du Plessis on Saturday, the 17th of August, in a bid to reclaim the middleweight title and become the division's first three-time champion. The Nigerian-born fighter boasts a record of 13 wins and 3 losses in the UFC, with his only losses coming against Sean Strickland and Alex Pereira, and also Jan Blachowicz, but that was in the light heavyweight division. Du Plessis, who captured the middleweight strap via a split decision victory over Sean Strickland at UFC 297, presents a formidable challenge. The South African fighter hasn't tasted defeat since 2018 and is known for his frenetic and energetic fighting style. Now, gentlemen, is this a good move by Adesanya? Because, putting on the muscle, for those who know science and biology well, muscle mass means that you tend to burn through oxygen much more quickly, and therefore there's a greater risk of fatigue. Now, it's a title fight, which means it's 5 rounds of 5 minutes, 25 minutes in total. Is this the right way to go? Okay.
Well, for me, I think, first of all, Israel has been in a very intense camp. Aside from the interview from his teammates, not too many things have been spoken about considering what he has been doing. He made a recent media appearance, and I could see that he was physically bulky.
Jacked.
His neck was thicker. So I could see that he's been doing a lot in terms of jacking up. But when you do that, you need to balance it with the right amount of cardio. Hardcore cardio, because you need to be able to compete at that same level with the muscle mass that you do
saying
have.
that he should increase his stamina.
Exactly. So for me, this is someone who is a very strategic fighter. He's not just your usual UFC fighter. He's quite strategic whenever he goes into fights. Adesanya, to be precise. He always targets certain body parts of his opponents, and for me, he goes for that and he always strikes. But going against Du Plessis, this is someone who, for me, currently is winning the mind games, in my own opinion. I think Adesanya is quite should I say, rattled by him. Obviously, Israel is not going to admit that, but for me, I see that. And I think he will be doing the right thing in his training camp to make sure that his body is in the right condition. It's going to be an explosive fight.
Yeah, Udoka, this particular fight is spicy.
Yeah, definitely.
As we will say, this part of Western Nigeria, because these two gentlemen absolutely do not like each other.
Yes,
and when there's that edge, that animosity, it makes for a more compelling fight. I'm having goosebumps as I'm saying this right now.
Definitely. You know, on paper, if you ask me, I would say Du Plessis would win this one. But for Israel Adesanya, he's a professional. Going over to the gym to add more body mass to himself, I do not think is the best thing. I would rather choose for him to add more body or more weight in his legs.
In his legs?
Yeah. This is what you're using, knocking your opponents out.
I've heard of the Johnny Bravo syndrome where they are top heavy. Now you're saying that what he should be. I mean, bottom heavy.
You should have more muscle, more power when you're trying to kick your opponent, because this is what you need to knock Du Plessis out.
So you're thinking he should really much focus on what, kicking? Really?
Yeah,
I mean, he has a background in kickboxing.
Yeah,
definitely.
but to be fair, he's got 2 knockouts.
Look at this. This looks particularly jacked. And this is not the Adesanya that we know. From what we're hearing, this was an old photo, and he's actually put on even more mass. But don't forget, he cannot go beyond the middleweight limit. So there's also a question of making weight on fight night as well. So he can't afford to be too jacked so that he's not too heavy to ensure that he can make weight on fight night. But it probably should be a really great fight. I'm looking forward to that. No doubt.
Considering the fact that Israel's last fight was a loss, he would be coming into this wanting to win. He wants to set that record straight again for himself. Also, his brothers have been suffering losses, talking about the likes of Francis Ngannou and Kamaru Usman as well.
Here might be coming back very, very soon, by the way.
Looking forward to that. We need to get the 3 kings back where they belong. I don't know if Francis Ngannou wants to come back to UFC. I think he's
president of Africa division of the Professional Fighters, which is rival MMA body. But we'll be looking very closely to the build-up of that fight. Dricus Du Plessis, current middleweight champion, versus well, do I say our own Israel Adesanya?
Yes, he is.
Who, if he wins, will become the first ever 3-time champion of the middleweight division in the UFC. Finally, on this part of the show, let's tell you that Finnish heavyweight boxer Robert Helenius has been hit with a 2-year boxing ban by UK anti-doping after failing a drug test following his fight with Anthony Joshua. Helenius tested positive for the banned substance clomiphene after the heavyweight bout at London's O2 Arena in August last year. The 40-year-old the 40-year-old Helenius was knocked out by British fighter Joshua in the 7th round. Helenius has denied taking any performance-enhancing drugs, and according to UKAD, he said the detection of clomiphene in his urine sample originated from the consumption of contaminated eggs and chicken. However, a statement from the UKAD stated that Helenius was unable to provide any evidence that the eggs and chicken he consumed in advance of that bout had been actually been contaminated by animals that had been administered with clomiphene. But it's an interesting argument. I do believe that I think it's what's his name again? The Mexican boxer Canelo Alvarez actually got away with something like that in the past, claiming that the beef they had eaten had been tainted. It's an excuse that boxers or fighters use quite regularly. But I don't know what Helenius is going to do about it, but he doesn't particularly figure quite highly in the heavyweight rankings right now. But hopefully he can find some kind of answer to this and get back to what he knows how to do best. But at 40 years of age, I'm not sure he has much more time at the top of the sport. You're still watching The Game On. We'll take a very short break. When we return, we'll be talking about football in Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. Stick around. Thank you very much. You're still watching Game On here on News Central Television. It's time to talk football now. And early this week, there was lots of huge reports on the news wires with regards to Nigeria Premier Football League side Kwara United and the fact that they had pretty much fired 22 players and replaced them with 23 ahead of the incoming season. And according to reports we heard from the chairman of Kwara United himself, Kumbi Titiloye, he said the 22 players recently disengaged by the club were released under varying reasons, which also include overseas opportunities. Now, I don't understand what that means, but we have joining us tonight Ayodeji Ismail, who is the media officer of Kwara United, joins us all the way from Ilorin. Thank you so much for joining us, Ayodeji. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on Game On. But let's start with of course, this news. 22 players. How many players do you even have registered in the first place? Because 22 players, by my count, that's a first 11 and a second 11. So how many players did you even have registered in the first place?
Yes, thank you very much. And it is a pleasure being with you tonight. Kwara United last season registered 47 players.
47?
And of course, I want to see that 47 players.
Okay.
And from these 47 players that are divided into two, we have youth players, and also we have Team A and Team B.
Okay.
So that's the situation.
Okay, so now the 22 that you let go, can you tell us, did they have valid contracts? And on what basis were they let go? Was it expiration of their contracts? Was it cancellation, mutual cancellation of their contracts? Can you explain exactly how you managed to let 22 players go in one fell swoop?
Yes, thank you very much once again. Yes, the 22 players that were recently released were categorized into three. One, the one that their contract expires. Second, the one that want to pursue another career in another football club. Then the third one are the one that their contracts ends with mutual consent with those players. So that is why the chairman of the club, Titile, clarified issues yesterday after the meeting with the technical department of the club. And I want to say there's no any ambiguity in this statement. Those players are in the 22 players that left. Those that left based on mutual consent that they don't want to be part of the team again, and those that still want to further their career in another club, and the one that their contract expires and the management feel that they cannot renew the contract.
Okay.
All right then. Honestly, you've spoken with confidence and you've given us good clarity. So I just want to ask you one question. Are you sure that going forward, because we've heard different reports that some of these players might actually take the club to court. Some of these players are not even pleased with the way they were let go. So can you categorically state that none of these players will come with reports to say that they were let go in an unjust way?
Yes, I want to say that those that left, just like I said earlier, that they left based on agreement, particularly those that didn't want to, that the management feel that they don't want to renew their contracts, owing to the fact that they cannot, maybe they are not satisfied with the performance of those players. So they left, and both party agrees. And I want to say there's no cause for alarm because it's a mutual consent between the management and the affected players.
So I'd like to ask now, you said some of these players are also chasing overseas dreams. Stands to be corrected.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if players need to leave, for example, Kwara United to another club, isn't there supposed to be like a transfer, payments being exchanged hands between the overseas club and Kwara United?
Yes, it should be like that, just like the conventional thing that we're doing in the outside world. Let me give you an example now. For instance, we have Emmanuel Ubuli, who is the highest goal scorer in the just completed Federation President Cup. He left to Netherlands, and of course, yes, Netherlands to pursue a career. He's already in Netherlands as I speak with you now, but we don't know whether the deal will materialize or not. But is leaving the club is with the agreement with the management and that of the player himself. So there's no cause for alarm as regards. There's no controversy whatsoever in whatever that is actually happening now. Majority of those, some parts of the players that even left, they even willingly they want to leave. Just like some players, like for instance, let me tell you, Benga Adewale is willing to play for El Kanemi Warriors of Maiduguri, owing to the fact that El Kanemi is campaigning in the CAF Confederation Cup. So there's no problem in that. He left and he's already with El Kanemi as I speak with you.
Okay,
so the issue of controversy with the club, I don't think is needless because a lot of people are asking why these massive of players leave Kwara United.
Okay, Ismail Adedeji, thank you so much for joining us tonight and giving us clarity on these issues. But finally, before we go, just a quick review of your season of Kwara United's campaign last season. They finished in 13th place in the NPFL, a whopping 19 points behind eventual winners Rangers International. Played 38 games, won 12, drew 15, lost 11. Scored 38, conceded 37, had a goal difference of just one. Not exactly, do I say, sterling performance, but what guarantees can you give fans of Kwara United at home and abroad that next season will be much better and we will see you higher up the table?
Yes, I want to say that last season was not really good for us at home, considering the fact that Kwara United was the team that played about 11 home draws, particularly at home. So going forward, that's informed the decision of the management to ensure that they want to beef up the team with the right mentality players. And of course, I want to say that ever since the camp resumed on Monday, we've been training morning and evening. And I want to say that the management is leaving no stone unturned to ensure that best leg quality players is recruited going forward for the new season. And let me also say that 15 new players will be recruited according to the management. And the management is given the technical crew free hand to choose the player that they feel they can do the work, that they can deliver them. So I want to also say that tomorrow now will be enough, because ever since I started this training ahead of the new season, we've been training at the Kwara State Stadium Complex at Mini Campus, University of Ilorin. But tomorrow we are extending the gesture to offer, to also create a sense of belonging to the people of Kwara South. So they are going to train in offer tomorrow as from 12 p.m.
Okay, Ismail Adedeji, thank you so much for joining us tonight on Game On. We'll be definitely reaching out to you subsequently ahead of the new season, and also when the season starts. We'd like to wish Kwara United all the very best in the upcoming season. Thank you so much tonight.
Thank you very much. You are going to do a good job. Thank you.
Thank you. That's high praise, guys. Particularly that news. But still talking about the Nigeria Professional Football Nigeria Professional Football League. Early today, we had an August visitor, head coach of NPFL champions Rangers International. I'm talking about none other than the working one, Fidelis Ilechukwu. He was here in the studio, and he has stated that winning the 2023-2024 NPFL title was a dream come true for him and his side. Coach Ilechukwu stated this in an exclusive interview that he had with News Central TV today. He also stated that his team's CAF Champions League draw against Union Sportive Zilemaju of Comoros isn't an easy tie as they seek to advance in the competition. Rangers will travel to Moroni, capital of the island of Comoros, to take on their opponents on the 16th of August with a return leg, hopefully in Enugu a week later. The coach of the Flying Antelopes said that he expects that these matches will be given the seriousness that they deserve. Let's take a quick listen to Coach Fidelis Ilechukwu.
I was so happy. 2 games to go. Before 2 games to go, I have 100% believe that Rangers is going to be the champion. You know what it means? I was so happy. It was like a dream actually, but dream that comes to pass. And like 2 days, I can't sleep. At my home house, being on bed, thinking how stress and everything. I was actually thinking I was supposed to win it in MFM, because I worked so much hard for it in MFM. But in Rangers, it was a little bit easy because of the stress and everything and the kind of technical career I have around me. But in MFM was so tough and I didn't win it. So I don't see it coming. So the moment I saw that it's very, very possible, all of us were like, God, so this is NPFL trophy in our hands. And in our time, it was new trophy. Everything was just new, and we thank God for that. With big amount of money, 150 million naira. Fidelis Ilechukwu is rich. Serious. Too much money, man. I saw the draws, and no team is put over in CAF Champions League. the team we are meeting in Comoros, the players, most of the players in the national team, to show you how strong the team are. I saw people saying that it's like Rangers got an easy draw, but that's not true. What we are doing right now, we are having a very good preparation, knowing full well that any team in Champions League can disgrace you if you look down on the team. Like when I was in Plateau United, our game against Sports of Tunisia, people so.
The working one himself, Coach Fidelis Njoku. Did I get that right?
Njoku, yes.
Njoku. That's Udoka giving me Igbo language lessons here. I really appreciate it, by the way. Coach of Enugu Rangers, winners of the last season's NPFL title. Don't forget they will be campaigning in the CAF Champions League this season. And we're hoping, and they are hoping actually, that the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium will pass muster. Because there's a CAF inspection team coming into the country pretty soon, and they're hopeful that they can play their matches in that stadium as well. But gentlemen, I'm a huge fan of this gentleman. I've known him for many years, ever since he was on the touchline at MFM here at the Agege Stadium here. Dream come true for him. One of the youngest, most hardworking coaches in Nigeria. Gained lots of experience working across Nigeria. Worked in the north, worked in the south, worked in the southwest here. But I think he's getting just reward for what has been a really decent, vibrant career.
Definitely. Starting off with, I got to know him when he was with MFM and met him one time, and I could see how boisterous he was, ready to do the job, in as much as the NPFL is a very, very difficult terrain to play in. But for Fidelis Njoku, he's been there, he's done that, he has served, and he deserves to be a champion. And I mean, you could hear from the interview saying that he's a rich man now.
Yes, I mean, look at it. I mean, 150 million naira to win the NPFL. Now, he has greater incentive because we hear that the prize money has been increased to 200 million naira.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
I mean, this is giving him greater incentive. And that's what we're talking about, the incentives, right?
Yeah, true.
Bragging rights.
Again. And, you know, knowing his roots, he's someone that loves money. And more money.
Very true. I spoke to many years ago. He said that if he wasn't a coach, he'd probably be in business.
Of course.
I think he said
of course. He's a very enterprising person. And then when you take a look at the way he's always able to refreshing his team season after season.
Yeah.
He has a style of football. The players will always play to Fidelis Njoku's style of football. And he has a way of helping players also develop.
Yeah.
He has a track record of doing that as well. That's one thing I can say about a Nigerian coach, and I'm happy to say that player development is very, very key.
Yeah.
And if you have a coach that can do that, number one, is good for the academy. Number one, is good for any player that joins him and is looking forward to progressing their career. So big ups to him. It's a very good one. And I like the fact that, you know, he's well aware of the challenges ahead. Playing continental football is no easy football. It's very difficult.
Continental campaign. He's never been here before. You get the impression that he might be overwhelmed by this stage fright.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so because
he played a small team first.
Well, not because of that, but I think because of the experience that he has garnered from the different clubs he has coached, and also Rangers International is no baby when it comes to being an international brand. So I think for Fidelis and Rangers International going to the Champions League, it's going to be a win-win situation for him. But then they might not win the title, but they will have a good experience out there.
I'm only hoping and praying that they get to the group phase of the CAF Champions League. It's been a while since we've had a Nigerian team at that level of competition. Still talking about Nigerian football, we hear that El Academy Warriors, who are also campaigning in the CAF Confederations Cup, they will be playing their matches at the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja. Well, according to the Minister of Sports Development, John Enoh, yesterday during a media parley with sports writers in Abuja, he said that the Borno State government has formally written to the ministry that the 2024 President Federation Cup champions would like to make the Moshood Abiola Stadium their home ground for the CAF Confederations Cup. Of course, El Academy Warriors last season got promoted to the NPFL after defeating Abia Warriors, also defeated Abia Warriors, I beg your pardon, 2-0 in the President Federation Cup final to emerge as champions. And they will face Daje FC of Benin Republic in the first preliminary round of the competition between the 13th and 15th of September, while the second leg will come up between the 20th and 22nd of September. So playing far away from home, but the coach of the team has said that his team can play anywhere and feel at home anywhere. We had him here in the studio just before that President Federation Cup final, and we're also hoping that that particularly rings true. Now, gentlemen, interesting news has been coming across the news wires across the last 24, 36 hours, and it's been reported by very popular, ex-personality or Twitter personality that Napoli striker Victor Osimhen has reportedly reached an agreement with Paris Saint-Germain over a move to the French club. We haven't exactly found any confirmation, but Fabrizio Romano is actually a very well-respected source. We hear that this was made known by him on his X handle, and of course, Osimhen has a reported 130 million euro release clause in his contract, which was signed last December. And of course, Paris Saint-Germain are looking to replace Kylian Mbappe, who has since moved on to Real Madrid. This man, Victor Osimhen, seems to be not a like-for-like replacement, but a good replacement as well. Won the title with Napoli 2 seasons ago, scored hat-trick of goals, won the top scorer award. Last season, not as prolific, but 15 goals in 25 games was not bad. But there are those who are already saying, okay, let me start by asking, okay, is this a good move? If it's true, is it a good move? There are those who are saying it's a downward move, that is not a step up. Going from Italy to France is a downward move. Do you agree?
Well, first of all, I'll say it's a good move business-wise for Napoli, but is it a good move for Victor Osimhen?
Career-wise?
Career-wise, I do not think so, in my own opinion, because I think he was coming from Lille Metropole. He already dominated in the French league. I felt that his next move had either be England or Spain.
But how many of these clubs can afford the kind of
that's it right now. Exactly.
The salary that is.
Thank you very much. Another important factor is how many clubs need a striker currently. Manchester City has Erling Haaland. Manchester United have gone for the likes of Højlund and Joshua Zirkzee. You take a look at the other big boys as well, they currently have strikers. It's hard to offload strikers, hard to offload players. Arsenal has been linked to him. Arsenal has issues offloading players. So for me, this looks like a good move in terms of business.
If it goes through.
If it goes through. Now, one more thing about that release clause.
Very quickly.
Keep in mind that there was no way that De Laurentiis was going to negotiate on it. That man is a shrewd businessman. And he will never go down on his price tag for a player.
If you're not talking money, you're not talking to De Laurentiis.
Exactly. It also feels like Antonio Conte does not even need Victor Osimhen. He is bent on bringing in Lukaku.
That's not true.
If Osimhen leaves, he says he's going to bring in Romelu Lukaku.
But maybe because he understands that it's inevitable that he has to leave.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, well, we're wishing Victor Osimhen all the very best of luck. If that transfer goes through, he might become the most expensive African footballer of all time.
Yeah, topping Sadio Mane by being the most expensive African player and also most likely the highest paid African player.
We need to check that, but it's money for a young lad who started from the streets of Lagos, Olusosun to be particular. Let's quickly give you news coming out of England that Everton have completed the signing of Nigeria international midfielder Oyedupe Tony Payne. The 29-year-old who can play anywhere across the front line and the midfield joins the club after a 6-year spell in Spain with Sevilla, and it's the first signing of the summer for Brian Sorensen's side. Payne, who has 21 caps for Nigeria, was part of the Super Falcons squad that competed at the 2023 FIFA World Cup finals in Australia and New Zealand, being narrowly beaten by England in the last 16. And Payne says the experience of playing against some of the best talent in English top flight only added to a desire to move to Merseyside. Still talking international football, Cesc Fabregas, remember him? He's been appointed as the head coach of Italian side Como after leading them to promotion to Serie A as assistant and interim coach last season. The former Arsenal, Barcelona and Chelsea midfielder ended his playing career at Como in 2003 and became an assistant coach at the club, and he took over as interim coach after head coach Moreno Longo was fired, and Como rose from 7th to 3rd in Serie B under Fabregas before Welshman Ocean Roberts was appointed as interim coach. In December, Fabregas still remaining as his assistant, but Como eventually secured automatic promotion after finishing second in the league. But guys, I'm beginning to feel old. I remember when this was just a 16-year-old, 17-year-old player for Arsenal, and now he's retired, he's a coach. I mean, it's really great to see these players continue to make the progression in their careers.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised. This is someone who has played under the likes of Arsene Wenger, Pep Guardiola, Vicente Del Bosque, Antonio Conte. He's learned the trade under great managers. And for someone with such a great IQ on the field, I'm not surprised that he's gone into coaching. I must commend their recruitment as well. They've gotten the likes of Pepe Reina, Alberto Moreno. They are due to sign experienced players as well. They're due to sign Rafael Varane as well, who's currently a free agent. So good recruitments. They've got veteran Italian players on their books as well. Patrick Cutrone is also with them. So they're going to be playing good football. That's one thing I know for sure. And I'm definitely, the goal has to be to survive relegation this season.
Yeah, and it seems to be a thing for footballers nowadays that many of them moving into management.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen a lot of this in England, especially with the Netherlands.
Mohamed Sonny Aluko also recently moved to Ipswich.
Definitely. So, I mean, if you played football, you should be able to learn the rudiments and get into coaching and also
Not
leave another
everybody.
team.
Not everybody.
Not everybody makes a
Not
good
everybody
coach.
makes a good coach.
Definitely.
Cristiano Ronaldo has said he's never going to go into coaching.
Lionel Messi should not
He
even
has
try.
he has too much money. He has too much money. But thank you guys for joining us on the show. It's been a really wonderful night. It's been entertaining. It's been fun. Thank you very much, Udoka, for joining us. Thank you, Okpe. And don't forget, there's Formula One this weekend as well. The Hungarian Grand Prix will be taking place, so we'll be keeping an eye on that. Drive to Survive. That will be the that'll be the anthem for, of course, Lewis Hamilton. And to the guys behind the scenes who also made this possible, thank you as well. But before we go, a tragic event happened during a football match in South Africa many years ago. A referee who thought he was under threat after awarding a yellow card ended up shooting one man and injuring two others. In an incident during a match in 2004, coach Michael Cizani and players of the Marcel side who are playing against Mighty 11s in the Eastern Cape district of South Africa advanced towards the referee to make a protest, but referee Nkedisile Zake pulled out a pistol and killed Cizani on the spot. Opposition coach Mbuzeli Zikula and Mighty 11 player Zadisile George were also hit in the hands by the same bullet that killed the coach. The referee fled the scene, was eventually caught and subsequently spent 4 years behind bars for culpable homicide and other offenses.
4 years?
Just 4 years? A paltry 4 years for killing a man?
You should get life imprisonment.
I thought so too. I thought so too. But hopefully football never gets to that level where it involves taking a life. But thank you for joining us tonight. It's been fun. It's been entertaining all week. Game On returns on Monday morning. Until then, here's wishing you a wonderful week. My name is Babatunde Koiki. Saying bye-bye.